What's going on, everybody? This is CD, or for the Splitmind channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys exactly why you suck. I'm going to be showing you guys how to add more bounce to your samples. Just use simple things that are catchy, easy for an artist to get on, still has some cool textures, has crazy bounce, and doesn't get old because of certain small things you add. Alright, basically, I'm going to play the sample real quick and then give you guys a quick breakdown. So pretty simple again, but bouncy, very easy to use. First thing I did is I got this piano from Piano V2 by Arturia. It's called Metal, Soft and Large. Nah, but it's I just turned the mix down for the reverb, and then I came up with this catchy ass pattern. Kind of reminded me of something like the Pilgrims would listen to. And this kind of utilizes the whole pitch everything down 5. And let's just... And then I kind of add some variation. I basically just took this, pitched it down 5 for this part. And then here just kind of switched up a couple of things. Just kind of switch out these notes a little bit. Give it a little bit more swag, and then add another little passing note here. And then this note's crazy because it's kind of small in the velocity, you see that, but it adds that little roll at the end that kind of gets you excited for the next part. That little note just adds a lot of bounce and kind of keeps the listener anticipating the next part. It's kind of hard to explain, but just having simple passing notes with some lower velocity, very easy to keep things interesting. And especially at this BPM, it's kind of low. So you have a little bit more liberty with choosing these notes that aren't just here or here, you know what I mean? It adds a nice little sauce to it, you know? I've been doing this a lot recently, kind of an easy way to process your samples without actually doing processing. You just take this, and then I slowed it down to half the time, and then rendered it, and re-stretch it to the normal time. That gives me this. And I pitch it up too. And then what I actually did with this one is threw it in the master. Then I went in the master. And basically I did halftime. But a lot of people, when they do halftime, they just leave it on and just kind of maybe automate it so it goes out every 4 bars, whatever. What I did, first off, I cut the bandwidth a little bit. You can see it down here. Cut the bandwidth, took out some of the highs, put it on half. And then I right click here, did an automation clip, and basically just had it fade in a little bit at certain parts. And you'll hear there's a little emphasis right here. And just doing simple stuff like this, it has little sections where the halftime is playing at lower speeds. But you can see I kind of carefully selected where it goes. It only comes in at certain parts. And this is on purpose. This gives it bounce. Putting a little bit more emphasis on this section. But again, just simple stuff. Copy it over. Gives it a little bit extra emphasis in certain parts. Adding to the bounce. Recently got this thing working. Bada bing, bada boom. This is a Hitachi cassette tape recorder. It's from the 70s. And I've been using it as kind of textures and stuff in my loops lately. But what I did, I ran it through this tape, ran it back into FL, and that gave me this. And obviously the quality isn't great. That's because it's a old ass cassette. But what I did is I took the piano section from here, put it on the mixer track, just EQ'd out all the lows, because that was where it was kind of getting a little bit muddy. Leave it like that. All I really did was, you can see I clicked here, put on generic, and then honestly just went through here and kind of randomly chopped certain parts. And this is the only sauce. Just super simple shit like that. Doesn't have to be perfectly on beat. But once I did that and then added it back with this, you can see some of the parts are kind of delayed, so they roll into each other. And it's kind of hard to notice, but when you take it out, you can definitely tell it feels a little bit more stale and there's not as much bounce. And that just adds like that cool like fuzz and kind of like warmth to it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Basically, what I've realized with all these years and wisdom I've collected is basically the songs that go super crazy are simple, but they're like calculated simple. Simple melodies, easy to follow for the average listener. They can just hear it bounce a little bit, you know what I mean? In the club, they can start twerking to it. It's just simple, good sound selection. It's got a little bit of like texture and a little bit of character to it. Hold up. And you can see it's that easy. And then people can just go and add drums on this. I did a little beat with it earlier. Super simple, easy, bouncy. Keep it simple if you want. I'm not gonna tell you to do anything. But yeah, that's all for this. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, like, click all the buttons down there. Peace.